Today we're going to compare the Air2 and the Hub2, a pair of smaller size strollers from Joolz, whose models have always stood out in my opinion with regards to build quality. So let's jump straight into it then, looking at the advantages and disadvantages of each model in turn, and focusing on their differences in terms of child comfort, ease of use, longevity, and driving characteristics, before ending with a discussion of under what conditions and uses one might make a better purchase over the other. And beginning with some stats, the Air2 clocks in at 6.7 kilos and folds down to 53 by 44 by 23.5 centimeters. It can carry 22 kilos in the seat and 8 in the underslung shopping basket. When it comes to child comfort, the Air has both a nicely upright position as well as a newborn acceptable near flat recline. Though that said, shifting between these positions does take a bit of effort, involving both a long zipper as well as the need to unhook a strap. With regards to seat size, the Air seat has a width of 37 centimeters, a length for the sitting surface of 89, determined by adding up the lengths of the backboard, baseboard, and leg rest, and a total longer length of 107 when considering space beneath the canopy and the distance to the front frame mounted footrest. Here I'd note that the length of the backrest, 53 centimeters, is much longer than average, meaning that the Air will provide head support in the reclined position for older children than with a lot of other models. As far as other aspects of the seat go, the textiles are premium feeling, the harness is 5-point with no rethread shoulder straps, shoulder pads set up in such a way as to hold the harness out from the seat back, and with a pair of straps below the seat for more easily tightening the shoulder or side straps. The canopy is extendable and gives good sun coverage, and there's ventilation built both into the canopy as well as the seat back when reclined, though do note that there's no flap to cover the mesh panels, which means that when the canopy is extended, a little light can still get in. While on top of this, there are also a couple of negatives with the Air seat in that the zipper method of recline causes the fabrics to bunch up quite a bit when shifting the seat from reclined to upright, and also that the plastic backboard is visible just by lifting the liner, which makes the seat feel a little unfinished in my opinion. For the newborn period, in addition to having a newborn acceptable recline, the Air is compatible with a variety of car seat brands and also has a bassinet available with the unique feature of flattening and remaining attached to the stroller when folded so that you can carry the whole thing as a single piece slung from your shoulder. When it comes to parent comfort, the Air2's handle stands at a fixed height of 107 centimeters, while the shopping basket is decently sized and easier than average to access for an ultra-compact in the way it extends off the rear frame. With regards to folding, the Air has a simple, handle-operated, one-handed fold, self-stands when folded, and has folded dimensions that are within the IATA's guidelines for cabin luggage. The combination of a relatively slim profile and a stretchy shoulder strap make the Air comfortable to carry longer distances, such as when negotiating public transport, for example, though I do miss some sort of additional handle or crossbar as a means of just lifting the Air rather than using the handle. As far as how the model feels to use, the Air has a sturdy, rigid feel with solid connection points, a lot of cross support, and tightly fitted components that make the chassis feel better manufactured than with many other ultra-compacts. Looking at driving, the Air has decent-sized wheels, 5.7 inches in the front and 6.1 in the back, as well as quite noticeable suspension, and while it's primarily made for smoother urban environments, it can handle stuff like broken sidewalks, gravel, and lighter cobblestones when you need it to. Moving on, the Hub2 clocks in at a heavier 9.3 kilos and folds down to a larger 66.5 by 52.5 by 29 centimeters. It can take the same 22 kilos in the seat, but at 10 kilos, a little more in the underslung storage basket. When it comes to child comfort, unlike the Air, the Hub seat is reversible and has both an equally vertical upright position as well as a similarly newborn acceptable near flat recline, where the lever for adjusting between these positions is easier to use than the Air setup. Size-wise, the Hub seat is narrower than the Air's, at 29 centimeters. The length of the sitting surface is longer, at 93, which is primarily the result of a longer and more comfortable to use leg rest, and the Hub seat is also positioned higher, 51 centimeters off the ground versus 43 with the Air, which makes for a little more legroom for older toddlers. At the same time, however, the canopy is flush with the Hub seat back, which is not the case with the Air, and which means less headroom. As far as other aspects of the seat are concerned, the Hub's textiles are also premium feeling and well padded, and the harness is essentially identical in design, other than that it doesn't have those extra tightening straps. The canopy is extendable and provides even more enclosing coverage, and the model has more ventilation via both a coverable mesh window in the canopy and a seat liner that can be removed, revealing a pair of large mesh panels in the seatback. For the newborn period, in addition to also having a newborn acceptable recline, the Hub similarly has a bassinet available, as well as car seat adapters that are compatible with the same range of brands. Moving on to parent comfort, the Hub's handle is adjustable between 93 and 109 centimeters in height, while the shopping basket is even easier to access due to the higher positioning of the seat and a wider entry point. As far as folding is concerned, the process is also one-handed, though has 2 steps, and the activation mechanisms are also a bit heavier on the hands than with the Air. That being said, the Hub similarly folds down as a single standing piece, and the folding system is centrally activated, which is a more durable setup than the long wires required to facilitate the Air's folding system. When folded, the Hub is nicely compact for fitting in the trunk of a car or storage at home, and is easy to carry by the crossbar, as well as via a stretchy shoulder strap that can be handy for getting up stairs or negotiating crowded public transport, even though the model is a tad too heavy to comfortably carry for long distances. The folded dimensions are too large for the IATA's guidelines, but are within the gate checking requirements for many airlines. As far as how the Hub feels to use, it's similarly tight and sturdy feeling, and its larger size also makes it a bit stronger than the Air overall. Driving-wise, the Hub has tighter, less noticeable suspension than the Air, but significantly larger wheels, 8 inches in the back and 7.7 in the front, that do, nonetheless, make it more capable than the Air when it comes to off-roading, or tackling rougher cobblestones, even though such conditions can be a bit jittery. So which one of these should you get then? Both are well-made strollers in my opinion, leaving the choice dependent a bit more on which specific features will best benefit your lifestyle and needs, where the Hub2's more substantial feel and better storage make it a bit nicer as a base of operations if you tend to be out and about a lot on foot, while the Air2 is naturally better for travel, and its smaller size, as well as that unique folding with its bassinet, give it an advantage if you will need to carry your stroller often. Both models are a bit limited when it comes to terrain capability, which in a way makes the Air2 a better deal for the price, but the Hub2 isn't bad either, and for smaller sized reversible seat models, it is one of the most durable options on the market. In any case, we hope you found this video interesting, and if you did, please subscribe, as a sort of support really helps us to continue making videos in the future. If you'd like to know more about either of these models, we have standalone reviews that go into a lot more detail, and links have been added in the description. In addition, if you're currently shopping for a stroller, we have a buyer's guide on our Patreon page, which lists a wide range of models that we recommend, with a lot of technical and lifestyle-related information. You can find it by following the link in the description as well. Thank you.